Hey, everybody, I'm back from war, and I just want to give you a little reminder. We have a Patreon. Go get on it. We also got YouTube. Go follow us, comment on videos, share videos. We're putting this content out there for you guys, and we need you to help us make it grow. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, go follow, help us out. Maybe get a Patreon subscription for a loved one. Christmas is coming up. We got a fun show coming up. Here it is.
Well, hold on, Andy. On behalf of the listeners, I just want to say thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I hit you with the applause. Hold on. Wait. We gotta wait for him to be done. Okay.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
You have had months
Yeah.
to watch a YouTube video. And I'm saying this because you volunteered. We just can't. I don't know that people like the buttons. I definitely don't think they
Well, I
like that
know
they're
people
just
like
the
'em.
same
People
as
like
always.
the buttons.
People
First,
write in that they like the
they
buttons.
write like they won't stop writing in about how much they like the buttons.
That's the
I've read a lot of
vocal
comments.
minority.
And B, you don't know what my YouTube queue looks like. I got a lot of videos to get through. I've been getting into wood turning videos. So
You're turning wood over there?
I'm not turning it, but they're turning it, and I'm watching them do it. And it, wow. I mean,
it's weird. That's what they
wow.
call it in Ohio. We called it yanking our cranks. in
Is that
Indiana.
right?
Yeah.
And then Illinois, what did they
You
say?
call it turning wood.
Just jerking it,
Oh, okay.
jerking your gherkin,
Jerking your gherkin.
tugging it.
Well, Andy, welcome back
Thank you.
from war.
Hey, while I was over there before we jumped into it, I read a joke on Reddit. You guys want to hear a joke? I read on Reddit.
Yeah.
You know, I was reading jokes while I was over there. This guy gets in a plane crash, and he ends up on a desert island. Only one other survivor. It turns out to be Scarlett Johansson.
Wow.
And the two of them, they got everything they need to live on this island. They got food. You know, they build a house. They end up falling in love, and they're living a nice life together. But you know, his life isn't full, and Scarlett's picking up on it. And she mentions to him, you know, like, listen, I love you. Whatever you need, don't be shy. Ask me. I want us to be happy. And he goes, all right, I guess there is, you know, one thing you could do. Would you mind putting your hair up in this hat for a second? And she's like, yeah, of course. I don't mind doing that at all. And he goes, would you mind just lowering your voice when you talk a little bit? Just like talk a little bit lower. She goes, yeah, of course. I'm an actor. I can do many different voices and accents. And he goes, would you mind drawing like a mustache on your face with this piece of charcoal? She goes, yeah, of course. This is a guy character. No problem. What's my name? And he goes, your name's John for the rest of the day. She's like, I'm happy to do this for you. I'm John. Let's hang out, bud. What's new? And he goes, John, you're not going to believe who I'm fucking right now.
Pretty good.
Off of
Pretty
Reddit.
good.
Come
Hold
on.
Andy.
Good joke.
Woo! Oh, that
I've been
was the
waiting to
great.
tell
I love
it.
that.
Get back.
I thought it was a different because you didn't set up that they were fucking at the beginning, and I was about to tell that joke because
you knew that one already?
That's a goodie.
It's a goodie. I should have said they were doing it. I thought I implied by they're in love. You know, you're in love. You have a physical relationship.
What bummed me was you didn't tell what happened to Colin Jost, that she ended up there. You know what I mean?
Well, this is the island he was on the Olympics, I think, and then he
okay.
got washed away.
I gotcha. Okay, no, that makes sense then.
Do you
That's
know
a
the one
good
where the guy goes into confession? I'm not Catholic, so I may get the Catholic words wrong here.
Mhm.
Guy goes into confession. The priest slides the thing open. He
Mhm.
goes, son, whatever they say, you know, what can I help you with here?
Mhm.
The guy goes, Father, I've committed adultery.
wow.
I'm ashamed of this. It goes, I've been faithful to my wife. We've been married 35 years. I love her. I still think she's beautiful. We dance in the kitchen still, but I've resisted temptation all this time. I'm working. I needed a new receptionist for my office, and I'm doing this interview. This gal comes in. She's 25 years old.
Ooh.
She's not even the most beautiful. She's just the hottest, sexiest woman I've ever seen in my life. And I think, oh God, I gotta deal with this. There's no way she's even gonna see me as a sexual being. And then she says, hey, I don't know if this is a job. I don't know if I can take this job because I'm madly attracted to you. And he goes, no, I think we can make it. And he goes, then, she's flirting with me. She's hands-on and this thing. I still haven't done anything yet. But then she comes in one day and she brings her friend to work. And her friend is just as sexy as she is. they're just both tens, bodies you wouldn't believe, and on top of it all, they really like me. They're into me. And they say, hey, we've always had this fantasy of having a threesome. We've never had a threesome
Oh.
before.
Okay.
So I think, if you'd be obliged, we'd never, we just will. Well, what do you say we do? And he goes, and boy, oh boy, did we do it. We romp around the office. It lasts for hours. It's literally the best night of my life. They're sitting on my face. They're sitting on my dick. They're riding. It's every position you could imagine. It's sloppy. It's this. The priest goes, wow, okay. Well, just do 7 Hail Mary. He goes, oh, no, I'm not Catholic. The priest goes, then why are you telling me? And he goes, I'm telling everyone.
Pretty good. Also good. Now, here's what bumped me on that one is I still needed to know what happened to Colin Jost in that universe as well.
That is Colin Jost.
Oh, is that right?
It was Colin Jost.
The whole time. Oh,
Wow.
hold the fucking phone, Andy. Here's what you need to know. This guy, we're going to get into it. He went on a trip. But on this trip, he told me ahead of time that he was going to watch with his daughter, sync up their iPads, The Sixth Sense.
Oh, shit, we did.
For the first time. And I said,
Ooh.
film her reaction.
He'd never seen
Oh,
it?
shit, I didn't.
Okay. Well, what was
Oh,
her
damn
reaction? What
it.
was it like? Tell me about it,
We watched The Sixth Sense, which I don't know that I've seen since it probably came out 20 years ago.
Mhm. It was a movie that was so good, but the goodness of it was the twist that I don't know that I watched it a second time.
I did
So
not.
here's the thing about the goodness of the twist. I think I'm with you. And
Mhm.
this was my theory, is that the twist came out at a time where there wasn't social media. Nobody ruined it. People went in and they were twisted. And then it became part of pop culture where people talked about the twist and they do the bits of Bruce Willis is dead at the end, yada, yada. And then, so the generation of people who saw it in the theaters and the generation after that, just by hearing about it, knew that this movie had this
Mhm.
insane twist in it. But now we're in these young kids now, like in thrillers. She has no idea there's a twist. I don't even
Mhm.
say there's a twist. I go, you just got to watch this movie. It's a good thriller.
Mm-hmm.
So we get into it, and I watch it knowing what's happening, which, by the way, on a rewatch, I don't know what other people think, but I thought old M. Night Shyamalan did a great job of hiding the ball, because even rewatching it, I'm like, yeah, because I know, but you don't know.
You don't know.
It's so
You're not
well
gonna
hidden. It's
guess.
so well done.
You think it's so well hidden he didn't know he was going to do it till the end?
He didn't even know.
They were like, but what happened? He goes,
Wait, what if he was dead? We're having a tough time wrapping this movie up.
There was a times where I was like, this is it's a little slow. It felt where I'm just like, because I think I'm anticipating the twist.
Right.
I'm like, enough with this kid with the dead people.
Get
Show
to
us
it.
the nuts.
Uh-huh. Say it.
So it's coming up, and we're getting, and it's a good flick. And then I didn't think to film her. I'm just watching her, and Bruce Willis is talking, and he's like, I'm not going to see you again, yada yada. And he goes and he's talking to his wife, and then the wedding ring drops, and then he starts to put it together, and it was everything you wanted of a reaction. She audible gasp, turns to me, eyes huge, hands in the air.
Uh-huh.
It was everything you wanted to be.
Couldn't believe it. That's fun.
That's
It's fun
fun.
that it's still getting people. It can still do what it was intended to do,
Gotcha.
you know?
Very
It
fun.
was on the way there. We watched Only Murders in the Building, the new season.
Oh, huge twist in that one as well.
Good show. Still a good show.
I jumped off season 3, 2, I don't know. Whenever the season that was Matthew Broderick was in, and it was like about them doing the play, that one I didn't watch. I watched whatever was before that, up to that, and then I washed my hands of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed what I saw.
That's foolish.
But no more. I've had
But
enough.
no more. I had enough.
I've had enough.
Well, Andy, I didn't mean to take us on this little tangent.
Hey,
here.
yeah,
What's on the rundown?
Let me talk rundown. On today's rundown, we're just doing a very special episode where we recap all the trips we've been on.
Can you just rattle
been on
off the
trips.
places you've
Yeah.
been real quick?
Yes. Well, before I even went overseas, I've been to Big Bear. We haven't talked about it yet.
Oh, that's right.
Big Bear, California. That's
Mm.
number one on the list.
Large bear.
New York City, Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Djibouti. Feels like I'm missing one.
I don't know.
That's it. I did a 6-country, 15 days, 9-show tour over there in
You
the
get
Middle
passport stamps? They doing
East.
that
I got
much?
so many passport stamps.
That's fun.
I got the fullest passport stamp book I'll probably ever have
Are you
in my life.
global
You
entry?
got to get a new one.
I used my global entry for the first time on coming back, and it is, oh boy, it's great.
It's
Global
great.
entry. Did you get it this time? Did you do it?
I've got global entry. I used it on the way back from Prague,
Ooh,
which I
boy,
flew
it's
through
nice.
Dublin. Like, I'm counting Dublin. Can I count Dublin?
Count Dublin.
Dublin.
I've
yeah.
only been to the airport.
Well, if I'm counting layovers, I've also been to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia,
Okay.
and I've been to Istanbul.
On
Istanbul, not
connecting to
Constantinople.
on your way to Big Bear.
Flights. Yeah, on the way to Big Bear.
And then you were all over the place too, as well. Where were
Mhm.
you? Rattle yours off. Shout 'em.
Virginia,
Okay.
New York,
All right. Look at that. And I didn't go anywhere. but
Djibouti
Mhm.
Dubs.
I believe, just so I can get involved in this, there's another thing on the rundown, Andy. I think we should just get that out of the way.
Oh,
up
and
top.
Alex, on today's episode, you got a first ever listener submitted gotcha.
Can I
That's
tell you?
right.
I'm going to say this before you do it.
Uh-huh.
If it's a gotcha on Andy, I love it.
Okay. Sure.
If it's not, we're gonna have some words.
You're a little upset.
I've been doing the Lord's work, you know,
I
over there,
don't love
supporting the
these-
troops.
Well, this gotcha came in weeks ago, Andy, but you've been gone weeks.
it is on me.
It's on
I
you. It's on
love it.
Andy. It's on Andy. Now, I don't know if you guys know a little fellow by the name of Michael Meat Cronin. You heard of this
Yes, let's hear it.
guy?
Let's
He
hear it.
says, he
Where are you
texts
getting
me, he
friend
goes,
gotchas.
he goes, I've been catching up on old backyard hangs.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's a devoted listener. And he says, I heard Andy mention that he loves crab. Okay.
I do love crab.
You
yeah,
do love
that's true.
crab.
Yeah.
So he said, I did a week with him in Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Uh-huh.
And he took me out to dinner at a seafood place and he ordered Alaskan king crab.
Yep, that's something I'll do.
Mhm. He said, I love coming down here to Florida to get the freshest Alaskan king crab you can get. And then I got to watch in real time as he realized that it's from Alaska.
Yeah.
So it was actually fresher in Chicago where he lived at the time.
Can I tell you
That's
what's
true. That's true. I would
what's
have done
maybe-
that gotcha on myself. That's
what's
true.
maybe even better than this is Andy did a week with me in Myrtle Beach and we were at a crab place and he said the same thing and then realized we're not getting them off the coast of
Uh-huh.
Myrtle Beach.
And you just
I love crab.
You just forget. You just
Well,
forget.
you know, and I got introduced to the crab as a kid on spring break in Gulf Shores, Alabama. So I feel like they come from the American South because I never ate them in Indiana. When then we go on spring break, it's like, oh, you can get crab down here. I didn't know it was from Alaska.
Yeah, but we also got crab in Syracuse, New York. I mean, you just get crab.
Well, that's
wherever
when
you
I
go.
found out it's just as fresh in New York as it is in Florida.
Do you remember when we went in Myrtle Beach? We were
remember
like,
a lot
"What's
of
the
stuff that happened
best?" Ah, come on.
We had a fun week.
And
Remember we boogie boarded?
I don't remember that even. I remember some of the other stuff. We were single.
you were and
but
mingling.
I think we asked someone for like the best restaurant in town, the best seafood restaurant in town.
Yeah, I did a bit about it for a while.
And they said it's this place, and we go. I think it's
Yeah.
called like Tommy's Crab Shack. Is it my name or it's
I
Brian's?
don't remember. There was
It's
a
a friend
pirate
of
out
mine.
front, though. Yeah, there was. I
There's
did
a
a joke
giant
about it. Yeah.
crab, like a gigantic
Joe's.
crab.
Joe's Crab Shack.
No,
There's a different crab shack?
it's a different crab place.
Because Joe's has got a bunch of shacks.
Well, that's a national chain.
I don't know if
National
it's a
mom and
But we
pop
go there. This
operation.
is definitely. It's a buffet.
Uh-huh.
It's definitely not what you would say is a great
Is it a
restaurant.
Ponderosa?
I can remember some of the bits that I did.
I'd love
about
to hear
that
some
place.
of the bits. I don't. I have a
There
picture,
was
but I
a
can't find
pirate
it.
that welcomed us as
Uh-huh.
we got in there. On the dessert portion of the buffet, they had shots of frosting.
Hell yeah.
I did a bit about those.
Uh-huh.
It was like, let me lick some sugar off the back of my hand, do a shot of frosting, and bite the head off a lime gummy bear, something like that.
All right, I'm into
That
it.
was pretty fun. And something happened where I asked the waitress, "Is this really the best restaurant in town?" And she said, "We're not allowed to eat off of people's plates after they leave the restaurant, but I hear it is pretty good."
What an insane thing to say out loud to a customer.
They definitely eat off of
Yeah,
people's
yeah.
plates.
I've probably eaten off people's plates before.
I don't think
Oh,
I
yeah,
ever
at a
did it.
restaurant?
I don't think I ever
Did you
did.
grab a fry or two?
Wanted to.
Probably.
Never did.
I mean,
it,
I've
though.
definitely on the road after too many drinks eaten off of someone's tray they've left outside
In the
their
hallway,
door.
sure. I mean, that's a slice of pizza, though. That's a community food.
I mean, French fries, you definitely nobody's touching all the fries.
That's true. If
You're
it's on
touching
the
the
plate,
fries you eat.
I don't think you even touched it at all if it's still on the plate. I think fries on the plate have not been touched.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
saying it.
Well, you know what they say when you didn't eat much of your food? You barely touched it.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know what they say when you eat all of it? Didn't like it.
Yeah, didn't like. What's a
I heard
great
somebody
bit.
do that bit the other day. Man, I was
Great
at a
bit.
place. I was in Glendale. These fucking nerds with no sense of humor in Glendale.
Okay, excuse me.
I sat down by where'd I go? I was waiting on Harp to get out of gym, and I wanted to watch the game. BJ's. Is it BJ's?
There's a
on
BJ's.
the main drag, and I'm in there, and I'm next to a table of 4 older people who are regulars at this place.
Sure.
So they're like, "Hey, Frank, I think there's a hole in my glass." I think to the bartender. They're doing all the bits.
Yeah, of
I
course.
think there's a hole in my glass. And then the bartender's like, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll just have to make you another one then." So everybody's playing along. The server comes by. Their plates are, empty, and they go, "This food, I mean, we didn't like it at all."
Yeah.
They're doing that bit,
Mhm.
and then the waitress is like, "Oh no, what's wrong?" And I in that moment realize she doesn't know they're doing probably the hackiest restaurant bit you can be a part of.
Well, she's new.
So she goes, "Oh no, what's wrong?" I realize she doesn't know, and then right after that, I realize they don't know that she doesn't know. So then they go, but it was just it was burnt.
Uh-huh.
Mine was burnt. Is Terry back there cooking? And she goes, "I don't know who's cooking, but what do you mean?" And then they keep going, and they're making up everything. They're like, "I just, I just ate it because it was bad. I didn't want anybody else to have." So they're doing that. Then my favorite thing happens. The fucking manager comes out. The manager comes to their table,
Uh-huh.
and she goes, "There's a problem with your food?" And the manager's there. You have to know it's escalated. This fucking guy goes, "Yeah, we hated it." And she also doesn't get the bit. I don't even understand what's happening. They have to then go, "We just want you to send the cook out. Is it Terry?
Uh-huh.
Send Terry out here." And then finally one of the women goes, "We know Terry."
Uh-huh.
And she goes, "Oh, you know Terry?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, he probably screwed it up on purpose." So then she goes and gets the guy.
Yeah.
The guy comes out. He knows they're doing a bit.
Uh-huh.
I can tell he doesn't love it. I can tell because his boss came back. He's not a huge fan of what's happening.
Uh-huh. I think if
You idiots! They don't know you're joking. I'm gonna get fired.
I think if
This
I'm
is such a good. I think you should leave sketch.
I know.
Oh my god!
If I'm that guy, I think I'm killing. I think they're going to get people to hear how good my bit is. You know?
It was
You
all
gotta hear it.
all 4 of them, and it was everything you want of like the hole in the glass. It was all the hits. Then at one point, this is just my own personal enjoyment. One of the guys gets up. He's gone to the bathroom for a while.
Uh-huh.
He's gone for a long time, and he comes back and he's sweating, and you can tell this guy's got some bowel stuff, right?
Okay.
Because his wife has a look of mild concern. She's not like, "We need to go to the hospital," but
Mhm.
she's like, "Is everything so?" And then the dude next to him pats him on the back. He's like, "You just rented." It's like some version of like goes right through you, right? And then just moves on about his day. But this dude is panting from the shit he just took.
That is, I mean, that's a wild. Did you get a Pizookie? Close it all down and the night right with the Pizookie?
No, I didn't. I do love I mean, it's how you say it?
Pizookie.
Pizookie.
A Pizookie.
Some people say Pizookie, which is bananas to me. You're replacing the word cookie.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. That doesn't exist. It's a Pizookie. You ever fuck with a Pizookie, Andy?
I've always called it cookie cake. I know
Huh?
what you're
Well,
talking
it's
about, but
different.
I've
It's on
always
a
called it
menu.
cookie.
This is
Then how is
a,
it
they
different from a
trademarked
cookie
it.
cake though?
a cookie cake is bigger. This one is.
Mhm.
This one comes in its own private cast iron skillet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out hot. I think it's
Mhm.
cast iron.
A cookie cake is
May
actually
not, maybe
closer
10.
to a Pizookie than the Pizookie. The Pizookie
pretty
is more
close.
cake
I
than
mean,
a cookie cake. If I'm
is
being
a personal sized pizza not a pizza?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
No,
look,
it's not. It's a cookie. You're not calling that a cake.
it's closer. I'm not, we're all tied up now, but I'm saying if you want to get into it, a
No,
classic
it's a cookie.
cake.
It's closer
It's
to a cookie.
Sure. I
But
guess you got to put frosting on it for it to be a cake. I
Boom.
think that's probably the distinction.
Yeah, but
They
Put
will put
frosting
ice cream
a
on these, right?
Pizookie.
they'll give you a dollop. They'll give you a fresh dollop right in the middle of there. It melts.
Mm.
God, gee, I mean, come on. What are we even talking about? Let's go right
You
now.
want to hear a bit that bombed in real life
Yeah, of course.
from my trip?
Uh-huh.
Jumping way ahead to the flight home. This is the flight from Ethiopia to Turkey. We had like a 5-hour layover. It was the middle of the night, and we're standing in line, and the computers go down. So they're entering
Nice.
people's information. No, this is actually Turkey to the U.S. This is Turkey to the U.S. Not that it matters much. And they are entering people's information by hand because their computers are down. We've been standing in line over an hour. Everybody's upset. There's like 200-300 people in line. I'm first in line, and I'm just waiting because they're letting all the business class go ahead of us idiots in economy. They're doing all their information by hand.
Mhm.
And then we've been in line over an hour. The computers come back online. They wave me up. They send me through, but they don't announce it to all the people that have been waiting in line for an hour because they've been boarding the flight this whole time. They never said like, hey, it's going to be an hour. They just let us all stand in line. I'm like, you're not going to tell everybody? I said this to like the gate agent. You're not
Uh-huh.
going to tell everybody? Because I think you tell everybody, you're going to get a big cheer.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, I don't know. They might not have even like spoken English well.
Uh-huh.
And so I think to myself, I'm telling everybody. So I hold up my passport, my boarding pass, and I go, computers on. And no one cheers. no one cheers at all. I just kind of put my arm back down and get on the plane to silence.
God, that's the best day of my life if I'm that gate agent where I'm like, God, that guy took that bullet for me. That feels so good.
I thought there was definitely going to be a huge cheer.
I mean, are you making eye contact with anybody? What are they doing? I mean,
I'm in for like it's like this. It's zigzags of people in line,
yeah.
and I'm in the front.
They're bunched up like
I'm
an
in
audience.
the front.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm in the front. I've got a crowd in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm facing them. I'm holding my thing up.
Yeah.
Everybody, the computer's on. Nothing.
I think they didn't laugh because they were all looking for your dad. They were like, this kid got away from his parents. He's
I didn't
alone.
think it was going to be a laugh. I thought it was going to be a cheer. That's an all-American. That's all Americans. We're cheering for that stuff.
You think so?
We cheer.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's true, but most of those people probably didn't speak English.
Oh,
They
this is
just,
the Turkey thing. You text us.
Yeah.
Everybody on this flight back from Turkey got hair plugs in Turkey. It's
Oh, yeah.
famously known as a.
Yeah, I didn't
hair
know that
plug
until
place.
we were there.
You
And,
just
yeah.
said that to us in text. Now, I'm swear to God, every single day I'm getting fed either like Barstool put up a video of a bunch of
Yeah.
people coming back from Turkey with hair plugs.
I don't know that we can blame this on Andy's text, or let's look at your own Google search
I
history.
haven't
you know what I
Googled
mean?
it. I haven't Googled it. It
Let's-
happened the next day.
Let's look at your flight apps.
You know the crazy thing about hair plugs that I didn't know, you got to shave your head to do the hair plug.
I didn't know that
They've all
either.
got shaved heads.
till
I
Yeah,
didn't know that
video,
either.
they all got shaved heads, and
Uh,
they look bad.
Yeah.
They don't. I think if
whoa,
you got
whoa,
real money,
whoa,
you are waiting
whoa.
for it to grow out and heal a little bit. Before
Well,
you go
here's
in
the
public.
thing. I know someone who got a hair plug
Just
in
one.
the States, got a single hair plug
Yeah.
Mhm.
right in their
Name
butt.
Charlie Brown.
That's a plug.
Nobody, he doesn't talk. He doesn't like to talk about it.
Wow, no one talks about it.
But he was saying it's very expensive. And now we're here in the future. It looks great. But he's saying it's very expensive. And people are like, you got to go to Turkey. You got to go to Turkey. He had it done here for the extra dough and said to me, he's like, I'm so glad I didn't do this in Turkey because I can't imagine experiencing this level of pain in a hotel in a different country or on a plane.
Well, here's what
He
I
said it's so painful.
I can only imagine. It seems awful, but I
We know.
thought that when you went, I thought you just lived in Turkey until your next haircut. I didn't know they were sending you back with like a weird
But they're not
headband.
sending you
I
back.
bet rich people do. I bet if you
You're-
got a
you could
crazy
stay
amount of
there.
money.
Like that's the thing that he
Yeah.
was saying he was going to do. The person that was saying you should do it had done it or knew something. It was like basically you go and you get it done and you just stay in a hotel for 2 weeks in Turkey,
Yeah.
which maybe these people are 2 weeks out, because he did say that. I
Mhm.
think there was something you're not supposed to fly right after or something, or maybe I just saw a guy went to Turkey to get a beard implant,
What? I didn't know
and
we were doing
ended
that.
tragically. They fucked his face up. It was a guy that was like he didn't really do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you just you know, we have this kind of blind faith in the States where we're like, oh, this person says they do hair plugs, they probably really do them.
Yeah.
Where I don't want to sound like, oh, I think part of this is that I don't travel the world often, but in my mind I'm like, I would double check if I'm going to another country to make sure that this doctor is a doctor in the way they say they are.
Yeah, I think you do.
And maybe
your
I'm wrong,
research.
but
I
this
think you do
did
a
end
lot of
that way.
research.
Where
I'm
this
a
guy
beard
was over there
transplant
just
doctor.
taking, it's like thousands of dollars still, and doing beard transplants to fix somebody's beard, and ended up putting in some hairs that went wrong. His face got all
It was
huge.
just a Hitler mustache.
It ended
no
very-
more.
It ended very tragically before we. That's why I'm not making many
Oh.
jokes about it. But be careful if you do it. And I heard it's very painful when you do it in your head.
Well, for the people that are listening that maybe don't know what we're talking about, because I didn't until you sent this video in this thread, it is
Mhm.
a bunch of men who are shaved bald, and they
Mhm.
all have a headband, and then the top of their head, you just see little
Yeah,
dots.
just little dots everywhere.
Did you read the
Like,
headband?
of blood. Read the headband?
Yeah,
No.
there's some on it.
What is the headband for? Do we think it's for to catch blood?
Well, it makes
Or-
you look cool.
That's
Yeah.
a great point.
It's sweat. They're balling. A couple of them didn't have the headband. I would say I probably saw 8 of them, and I bet 5 of them had the headband.
I'm guessing you just can't put a hat on because that's
Oh,
a crazy
for sure
move.
you can't. Otherwise, everyone would have a hat.
Just put a hat on. You know what I mean?
100%.
Also, you know what? If you're that bald, just put a hat on. You know what I mean? I don't think
bet
you
it
need to be
hurts
going
so
to
much.
Turkey
Yeah.
and getting hair treatment. Just wear a hat. You know
Well,
what I mean?
these people are way less bald when their head's not shaved.
What are you talking? Just put a hat on. I'm saying just put a hat on.
Instead of, but they have like a thinning hair,
Yeah, put a hat on.
and then I've done that. I mean,
Yeah.
we're living in the reality
Put
where
a
I've
hat
done
on.
that.
That's what I'm saying. Just put a hat on. You know,
I would like to not wear hats as much as I do right now. I'm starting to get tired of it.
I'll tell you
And
this.
the reason is sometimes they pick up sweat or cigar smoke.
I wear a hat all the time. I'm wearing a hat
Mm.
all the time to the point
Even
where
while he's asleep.
when I take
the
a hat
shower.
off, I have a bald tan line around my head, like a little hoop. I kind of look like these guys who got hair transplants, but without the dots. And even in the back, because I wear a snapback sometimes, I got a little half moon back there.
Uh-huh. That's
So
pretty fun.
that's part of why I'm not taking my hat off very often. But for Thanksgiving, went over to a friend's house. This guy's mom was coming into town. I was like, I'll take my hat off on this Thanksgiving, and everyone was so complimentary to me about how nice I looked without my hat on.
Oh, that's nice.
But I think they were just trying to gas me up to try and get me to be more confident and not wear a hat all the
yeah,
time.
good way to live your life.
They're trying to
Take
gas.
every compliment in a negative way.
No, I'm telling you, they're goosing me up, Andy. They're just trying to,
I'm
maybe
right there with you,
get
pal.
me walk a little higher. I was
No
like, I'm
fucking
on
way
to
these people
you.
meant it.
Yeah. Fuck these
I'm on to
kind
you.
people.
Yeah, I said I'm on to you.
Let's see it. Would you ever let it tan?
I need to let it tan, especially getting married.
It's
but
not that bad right now.
It's not.
You gonna
great.
wear it for the wedding?
Get a wedding hat.
No, I'm
one
gonna-
with a bow tie on it.
I
or
yeah,
thought-
something.
look,
I
I've
think
thought
you go
about it.
top hat.
Ooh, fancy
Nobody
hat.
can say you're not dressed up. You got a
That's
top hat.
true.
On.
No, I'm gonna tan. Moore's
Can a
got
top
this.
hat be the wedding gift for me and Tommy?
Of course. Yeah.
Would you wear it?
Yeah. If you buy it for me, I may not wear it at all the wedding, but a part of the wedding, I'll definitely
I'm
wear
not
that.
buying it if you're not wearing it for the whole
I'm
wedding.
gonna. Well, come on. I'll wear it. Give me a percentage of the thing. I'll wear it.
95.
95. That's a little high. That's a little high.
You can take it off for that part where you guys do it in front of everybody.
Oh,
The bedding ceremony.
you got the itinerary. Well, let's get into where you guys
Yeah.
have been. Who wants to go first?
Let me go
I
first because
mean,
Andy's got
Oh,
better
okay,
and more.
Okay.
I mean,
Andy-
mine simple Thanksgiving in Virginia.
Now, here's what I want to know, because off the top, just to refresh people, you went, overseas. You fought for our country and entertained the troops, and you were on record as, "I'm going to have a bad time. I
yeah.
do not want to do this.
Yep.
I'm going to have a bad time."
Yep.
So my question to you is,
Wait a
before we get
second.
into it,
How do I just
Tommy's
get
going first.
interrupted
Huh?
with a question?
Tommy said he
About
wants to go
his when
first.
we
I
said
thought
he
you
was-
said he was going first
I'm
because he's
going
got more and
first.
better. Well, shut up for a second. I want to know
I was
Andy.
literally talking talking.
No, I was
This
talking.
is crazy.
If anybody was talking, I was talking, and you interrupted me with your
This is
by your own
crazy.
admission is a boring story. So Andy, just tell
I mean,
me.
I just watched Sixth Sense. I thought I've been dead the whole time.
Andy, tell me.
You can't ask it now.
I got to ask.
Don't you
it.
answer his
I'm
question?
Too far in.
All right, well,
Just-
stay
it's-
tuned for the answer to that. Tommy, how was Virginia?
I didn't even ask the question
You're at your
yet.
brother-in-law's house.
We knew where it was going. It took forever to get there.
Andy, did you have a good time?
So mine's just it's fast and just the hits is not a ton of hits. We do Virginia family Thanksgiving on the wife's side.
Did you meet Virginia?
Meet? Yeah.
I
was
can't
about-
wait
meet
to
Virginia.
meet Virginia.
Meet Cronin. Basically, Thanksgiving went off without a hitch. We go, we stay in a hotel. It's nice. The girls love seeing their cousins. They do like sleepover hangs.
That off the
They're
jump
buds.
has got to be a surprise to anyone who has listened to more than 2 episodes of this podcast.
What?
That it went off without a hitch.
Oh no! It's all. This is a good hang.
Well, I'm excited. I'm glad.
Well, now it's weird.
It's not at all.
Wonderful time. What kind of how'd they cook the turkey out there in Virginia?
Did it on a
I know you
grill.
like to smoke it on a grill.
Yeah, it's
I've
great.
never even
Grilled
heard of a
turkey?
grilled turkey.
It's insane. It's so good.
like
I've
grill
had-
marks on it and everything.
Oh, Miley,
I've had quite a few smoked turkeys in my day,
Miley.
but I've never had a grilled turkey.
Oh, wait, speaking of smoked
What's it
turkeys,
taste like?
Alex
What
had
are
a
the
smoked turkey here.
characteristic of a grilled turkey?
It, flavorful. You got a lot of
Mhm.
flavor in there and juicy.
You spatchcock it when you grill it?
You
Some
can't
do, not
say
this
that.
one.
No.
This is a family podcast.
I almost spatchcocked the turkey when I smoked a turkey for the Friendsgiving over here, and it doesn't seem easy. People say it doesn't seem easy. You got to cut like the
I don't know what
spine out or
that-
something.
What does that mean?
I think you cut the spine out and you lay it flat.
Yeah, it's a way of it's a way of making the turkey so it'll lay flat. So you like crack the ribs open and then you open it up.
Why is that
So
the
it'll lay
word
flat.
for that then? Why not just take the spine out? De-spine. It feels like a
It
word.
seems cool to say spatchcock.
I bet it's something. I bet it's got an origin.
It feels weird as hell.
But we did. This is no incident Thanksgiving.
What do you bring to the table? I mean, they're grilling a turkey. They're feeding you. What do you do?
We brought so little to the table. We
Yeah?
brought our kids. It's a full-on road game, so we
You
didn't
went so
have
far. You
a
can't-
kitchen and
You
a
can't
thing.
fly
and a
from
thing.
LA to DC
You
with
can
a
put gravy in a bag.
thing of
If it's a
frozen
small
au
enough
gratin
bag,
potatoes.
I don't
put it
think.
put it in those little
just-
shampoo
I brought
bottles.
3.4 ounces of gravy and toothpaste. We do. We leave at 5:45 in the morning, just to get there, which is
That's pretty early.
the one thing about that is you got to wake up. You got to leave. The car leaves at 5:45 in the morning. It's I want to say admirable and somewhat familiar feeling with 2 kids. They don't have the sense of urgency that adults do
Yeah.
with missing a car,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they don't
missing
care.
a plane, and it's not. I'm not saying my kids are like I don't care as dicks. There just isn't. They've
don't-
never in their life missed a flight.
They don't
They've
get it.
never had
Yeah.
someone
Mhm.
leave them at a Walmart. That's what
Yeah.
happened to my stepdad one time. So like there's just this, you have to insert urgency to their day. I mean, I got Everett in there who I think both of us are aware that she slept in the clothes she's going to wear in the plane, but I'm aware that like it's going to take longer than raising up to get you out of this house. So it takes a while to get them out. Then we get there. It legitimately, first of all, it's cold, and I layered up like I was in Prague. I felt fine the whole time.
Oh, nice.
Little Prague tip here.
You're a Prague guy.
I don't really know that anything eventful happened at Thanksgiving other than a great time, and they loved hanging with their cousins. We take the train.
Well, hold on. Give us a little context
Yeah.
because in the text thread, you did fire off a glass of whiskey with an Uncrustable garnish on there. So, I mean, what happened? I mean, it seems like things
Oh no!
happened.
Someone sent that to me. I thought that was I was just saying it as a bit.
I thought you.
Someone, because we talk about Uncrustables.
Oh,
Like,
you're
someone sent
drinking
me. No, not much drinking. I mean,
No, we thought that your brother-in-law maybe was a podcast listener, and then ever since he heard you listening to it, he decided
Yeah,
to start listening
he
to
did
it.
hear me listening
And
to it
then
last
he
year.
fixed you a bourbon with an Uncrustable on the side.
He's a good host. That's all he is. Good host.
Good times.
then
We
you-
go. There's a place like This is just a non-travel question. There's like a hey, everybody loves this place. This new bagel place opened up.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, it's the best.
Brugger's.
There's a line out the thing. Everybody loves it. I get it. It's like a bit much. There's honey on bagels and meats and it's just. I guess there's a thing of like, do you know of places that when you go somewhere, it's for whatever reason the local community seems to love it exponentially more than you do. Sometimes it's a hit. Sometimes you're like, oh shit, no, it's not. He just pitched the name out.
I mean, Brugger's just a.
When Andy and I went to Bakersfield, we had ice cream from this ice cream place that we drove by. The way it got on the radar, we drove past it, and this thing is packed to the gills. If it had gills, it's packed to them. It's a big place. There's a ton of people in this ice cream place. We talk about it in there. They go, oh my God, you gotta get. They go and get us ice cream, and then to be polite, I'm like, oh, it's so good. But I have Andy pull over and I throw it away in the garbage outside where it was. It just wasn't.
It's hard to make bad ice cream.
Some weird ass flavor.
I ordered the flavor. I was like, wait, what's good there? And everyone was like, the toasted pecan is the best. You gotta get the toasted pecan. So I got the toasted pecan. I threw it away.
There's two schools. There's people that go like, hey, this is the best ice cream place, or this is the best this place. If it's the best ice cream place, or the best cookie place, or the best pizza place, I'm going chocolate ice cream, chocolate chip cookie, or a slice of pepperoni. When you start going bananas, I think it's not the best if it can't make the basic thing.
I said, what is good there? What are they known for? And everyone fell over themselves to tell me that the toasted pecan is the best of the best.
You know what was going on there, I think? I think everybody likes that ice cream so much, they're trying to give you the flavor nobody wants.
Yeah.
I think that's
what it was? They
don't
want you eating up all the good flavors.
They all get a cut of the ice cream.
Tell them the
profits.
toasted pecan. That's what we tell the outsiders.
We got to move.
Oh, this is the other thing that happens while we're on ice cream. We're in Virginia, and then we take the train up to New York. And I'm just, I'm like, we're on a little vacay here. We're just out to have a good time. I'm not going to be on these kids about treats and what they're eating. I'm just going to let them go and just let go of the reins. I will say I was shocked by how off the rails these kids ate. And it was to the degree where I was like, have I done a poor job implementing like healthy eating habits, which I thought we have like a good handle on, to where if this is how it goes when I'm just like, you do whatever you want, I was just like, I'm shocked that breakfast would be a chocolate croissant with chocolate chip pancakes and hot chocolate.
These kids get it. I don't see what.
Is this just a kid?
No, that's a kid thing, man. No kid is ever going to choose the healthy option.
And also,
you teach it to them, and then later in life they appreciate it. But when you have no fear of getting fat at all because you're just a kid.
Well, I'm not saying it's a fat thing. It's like
whatever you want. You don't care about healthiness.
You eat the thing that tastes the best. Yeah. And usually that is sugar.
I'm not saying anything about fatness or the way.
Well,
I'm just saying like the healthy degree.
What stops us from wanting to eat a chocolate croissant, chocolate pancakes, and chocolate milk is like I'll be gross. But your kid doesn't have any of that.
Similar
to the kid's just like, I want to eat something that's
I was thinking, here's what I was hoping for. Hey, whatever you need, and they would have like a sweet, like a whatever the sweet thing is, and then something breakfasty. But it was, and it was breakfast, and then there'd be like, oh, we're gonna get ice cream. Oh, there's a cookie thing here. It was off the rails.
I mean, you're describing children. Yeah, I mean, you're just describing like a kid being told they can eat whatever they want. Similar off of what Andy's saying, similar to them having no sense of urgency about getting up early and missing a car. They have no context for like, why would this be bad? I love it. Like,
but healthy. Their whole life they've only been healthy.
I'm saying I have told them, never mentioning weight, just mentioning health and internally bad for you, bad for sleep, it's bad for this, it's bad. Like I've tried to be like, this is why we're trying to eat healthy, and I feel like a fat piece of shit.
You know how it's hard to believe things that you can't see?
Yeah.
That's what these kids are up against right now. They heard you say that. I doubt they think that you aren't right, but
I
But
think
you don't feel it until you're 30 that you eat bad all day and then you feel like,
you
oh, I feel
need to
gross.
get one high
Yeah.
cholesterol test,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, oh, okay, all right. There are consequences for this. But before that, you're like, I can eat whatever I want, especially
Yeah.
kids that are active. Like I was
Yeah.
that, where it's like whatever, and I burn it off. And there's no
I'm saying
negative
this
consequence.
as a parent. I mean, I didn't make one healthy food choice until I was probably 32 years old.
Yeah. Why are you expecting your kids to?
Because no one taught. That's the thing where we're getting into. If I was talking to a therapist, I would say when I was growing up, no one ever said any of this. And as an adult, I felt like that just is another example of how no adult like cared about me in the way that I feel like a parent should care about a kid. I'm caring about them, wanting them to understand a thing. I'm trying to implement or teach them a thing. And I felt like, and this is not as deep as it sounds, but it's just like, it does seem like that I feel like I'm just a bummer as opposed to like, hey,
No, I
you're
think
eating healthy and we're still getting a treat.
I think
They
what
still
you're
get a treat
what
after a meal here.
teaching is valuable, but also think about just like how, like as adults, where it's like it's hard to not eat 2 donuts, where you're like, I
Yeah.
want that, and you know all of the reasons why you shouldn't, and they just want it the way that we want it, but
Listen,
they don't.
parents give a lot of great advice.
Yeah.
And the kids aren't doing all of it. Can you imagine what a person would be like if they did everything their parents told them to do?
I can't even imagine what I would be like in a different way than what you're saying. My dad told me at an age where I was making money that if you're not in debt, you don't feel like you have a reason to go to work. Like as a like son, but you're making money. It's time you gotta learn this.
It's time to get some debt.
If you don't owe somebody, why would you go?
I think that's not bad advice. You make money, spend it a little bit, have some fun, get out there, live a little bit. You know what I mean? What you hoard, you can't take it with you. That's all your dad was saying, is he didn't know how to say you can't take it with you.
Can't take it with you. We did the train to New York City. It's fantastic. All the things. We get to New York City. Out of the train station, we got to take an Uber to the hotel. They're in a New York train station, and then they're on the streets of New York, and then they're in a car, and immediately we have what I believe is like a New York experience, but probably isn't anywhere experience, but it felt nice having it happen there.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this Uber. The driver's Italian. I don't know how to do the accent. I may drift in and out.
Try it. Yeah, give it a shot.
So he's driving. We're just going, look at that building.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that building. You know what I mean? New York stuff. And then he answers his phone and he goes, I can't talk now. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. And then there's a beat and he goes, I don't want to talk to you. I have customers in the car. And then there's a beat and he goes, why? Because when I married you, you were an angel, and now I'm divorcing the devil. And he throws his phone on the ground. He throws his phone. The line, I wrote it down when he said, when I married you, you were an angel, and now I'm divorcing the devil, was so perfect. Then he goes, women. And it's just it's 3 women in the car. It was hilarious. Then he says, she calls back and he goes, I can't talk. There's customers in the car, and he hangs up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wish we could vote because you got 4 people back here that are like, take the call, pal. We really want to hear this.
Keep
thing
it
through.
Going. Hey, we're fine.
Take the call. Put it on speaker.
Yeah.
Oh my
Let
god!
me hear what the devil sounds like.
That guy's got bars. You might have been driven around by Kendrick Lamar. If I could have got that, I got it that clean.
How good was that?
That's pretty great.
Now I'm divorcing the devil. So that was a highlight. We do some of the hits. We go
Cats is Deli.
top. We do the Rockettes. We do the Rockettes, which was
Sexy.
Wildly impressive. I mean, that's the word that just stuck when I left. I didn't know what to expect when I went in there, aside from the kicking and whatnot.
Kicking, baby.
It's fucking so impressive. It's synchronized at like nothing I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
We're there. This is, we've had a long days and long nights. Everybody's staying up late. I look over at one point, Harper's resting her eyes for, a 5 minutes of the thing, just asleep, wakes up whenever it taps her to show or something going on. Then I look over, and then my wife's asleep, and I'm like, that's just so fucking just. I'm like, it's nobody else is asleep here. And then I wake up a little later and realize we're all just tired. I was trying. I was very much enjoying it, and I was already kind of like, I can't believe these guys are sleeping. It's worse that I fell asleep. Somebody put something in the popcorn.
I think you might have been,
So we do the carriage ride around Central Park there.
Wow.
Do that. That
Tell me
was
you're a
great.
tourist without telling me you're a tourist.
We
Get in
are
that
touristing
carriage.
it up. Everett's and Harper's doing all kinds of bits, killing it and the thing. And then for whatever reason, the only time I decide to speak up is pointing out the apartment that John Lennon was murdered in front of, and that kind of led to a good next 5 minutes of the tour.
You just take your headphones off just to say that.
Especially off, it's also a guy like, I know that John Lennon was killed in that building, and that's all the information I had.
Yeah.
But they had a lot more questions, and I found myself being like, I think the guy was a fan. Is that true?
I think he was a fan.
I think he was a fan. Which Everett goes, what do you mean he's a fan? You see, like, he knocks on the door and goes, John Lennon, I love you, and then shoots him. And
I know the
was like,
Catcher in the Rye was involved.
Either your kids say, "Good thing you don't have any fans."
Ew,
Would have been a sick
Lord,
it seems on brand.
Get you. What was that? Trump? Why did that go off? Look at your rim shot. That's what you need.
oh my god,
Darwin, you're too excited.
We do Top of the Rock.
Okay.
We go see that top of that 30 Rock.
Anyone
there.
find out they're scared of heights up there?
No, we had people not up there that were admittedly not a fan of heights.
Okay.
Also have this is just we got a little one that didn't go, and then a mom that didn't go, and then I turn around and I was like, where's my kid's mom?
Yeah.
And I was they were like, oh, she's not coming up, she's with them. And then I'm like, oh, she with them. And then I text, she's not with them. She just is burning down Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
Then I text her and I go, hey, we're leaving the top. We're going to walk right by the hotel and go to the carriage ride. She goes, I'm all right. And I'm like, all right, this is just possibly some core memories here. It's a very, we're skipping out on stuff.
Well, mom's got a shop. You know what I mean?
No, she was just in the room at that point.
She was just in the room.
In the room.
All right. Well, sometimes mom's got to be in the room.
Dude, this is the thing about the hotel. We get to this hotel, and I lean up to the counter. I go, does it got my Bonvoy number in there?
Oh yeah.
And she goes, yeah. And I go, says platinum, right? And she goes, yeah. And I go, it's my daughter's first time in the city, so anything you could do with the room, we greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
I do think I should have slipped her money at that point. I did all of it but that.
Did that woman look at your daughter and go, she's a child?
What do you mean?
Like, well, it's not like she's been like dreaming to go to New York since she was a little girl. She's like, she's a child. Like, it makes sense. It'll be her first time.
She's coming here earlier. Than
No, this is a non-parent. People love kids' first time experience anywhere. You get all kinds of shit when you say it's their first time somewhere. Okay. It's a thing. Oh my God, you've never flown? Here's a fucking pin.
Here's some wings.
They do it.
Cover the cockpit.
Yeah, nobody's up there going like, it makes sense. You're a child.
I mean, it does. Though. You know what I mean? It totally tracked. Like, oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't go till I was 29. You know, I mean, I get
she
it.
goes, did anybody give you an upgrade in your room? That's the point.
Okay.
They're like, what took you so fucking long, nerd? With the kids, they're like, finally, you made it.
Yeah.
So she does say, she's on the phone for a bit, and then she hangs up and she goes, I think you're going to be very happy with your room. I got you in a nice suite. Okay. I think they're going to love it. Mm-hmm. We get up there. It is a dead-on, straight-on view of Central Park, 42nd floor. I told them, I was like, there's people that live in the city their whole lives and never get to see the view you're looking at right now. And they're on the couch watching TV by then, but it was still very special.
They're burnt out on trees.
That's the thing about kids. This is a parent hack. You do that. You say, hey, it's the first time in New York. they give you a sweet upgrade. The kids couldn't care less.
Uh-huh.
I will tell you this about the whole city experience.
Yeah.
I had in my New York in the New York at Christmas time. They barely affected by anything other than the weather.
Uh-huh.
These kids,
It's cold.
you know what they would be as we were doing it. And
cold.
I would say
been at the North Pole. This sucks.
They
It's
did.
too cold.
They did have a great time. They had great attitudes the whole time. They really enjoyed themselves. I will say that after going, and I thought their minds would be blown, but because they live here, I think it's not. So I think their minds will be blown like when they go back to visit my parents and they just see
It
woods
goes the other way. Yeah,
and
yeah.
a gun going off.
Well, there's nothing open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Wow.
That was
That's
at one
crazy.
point.
There's no Uber Eats here?
Everett at one point was like hungry at midnight.
Uh-huh.
And I was looking on Postmates when we were in Virginia, and then they just stopped taking orders because one of those restaurants that gets super busy. And I was like, oh man, it's just I don't know. You didn't have dinner. I was feeling bad. And then Heather was like, yeah, we don't have to eat at midnight. It's gonna be. And I was like, yeah, that's right. I guess we can just wake up tomorrow and be fine.
Uh-huh.
We did Serendipity, but not the original location.
I don't know what that is.
Me either.
Serendipity is the
The movie with John Cusack?
we did it's the name of the movie. I think probably made that place famous, or that place may have been New York famous before that. But it's this in the movie that's like this quaint, small little spot. You get the frozen hot chocolate. They're famous for that. It was amazing. We go to the one here now. The one we're in now is it's very poppy in colors. It's something you would Instagram a bunch.
Hell yeah, dude.
And the desserts were great. I was in there, and I was thinking about the time when I went to the original one with a gal that I was real fond of and was real fond of me,
Mhm.
and never had that experience before.
I
I'm just-
go back.
yeah. So everything's good there. On the flight home, the last two things on the flight home, we're getting on the plane. It's first class. It's business class,
Mhm.
and I see they have the lay down beds.
Oh yeah.
And Everett's walking in front of me, and I'm like, I'm positive I know what's going to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, are we in one of these?
Uh-huh.
And I go, no, we're not. And she goes, I want the lay down beds. I'm like, yeah, everybody does. It's just not a normal thing. You just get, we ruined your travel experience.
Yeah.
We get on the plane, and we're in economy comfort, so we have a little extra leg room. But I'm in the middle, so Harp can have the window, and Everett has the other window, and Heather's in that middle. So I got a guy on the aisle. He falls asleep doubled over in the emergency position, and I have to pee so bad.
Oh, that's my
So
nightmare.
then he flops back,
Yeah.
and his legs are spread. And I go to Harp. I go, do you think I can make it over him? And she's like, yeah, of course. And I go, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, I think I can make it over him. And then I get up, and I immediately sit back down, and I go, do you think I should go butt to his face or crotch to his face? And she goes, not your butt. And I go, so my crotch? And she's like, oh, I don't know then. So I get up, and I decide butt. I just felt crotch. I felt like I didn't have the mobility I needed, plus my dick's in his face. I clear his legs, which are spread. And then as I'm lifting up my other leg, I got a tight hip flexor.
Yeah.
It comes back, and I just press my ass into his whole face. And then he wakes up. He wakes up apologizing. So I go with it. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good.
Yeah.
But I go to the back, I take a leak, and then I'm just standing. You know, it's a late flight, so I'm just kind of standing in the back, moving my shoulder around. Two flight attendants back there. One is this older woman who's watching Joe Rogan's podcast, which I will say made me feel uncomfortable for a few reasons. Just, I don't know what this guy's talking about, but one bad podcast, all of a sudden this lady's putting shit in people's food. And then I look over at the other guy. He's got his phone out, just looking at a text where there's just dicks. It's just a guy has sent, you know how when you send like 3 pictures, they stack them in a cute way?
Yeah.
Just 3 pictures of this guy's dick, which are underwear, dick flopped out, medium hard,
Okay.
then harder, then hardest.
Oh,
It was like a flip book.
they call that a triptych.
yeah. A little time lapse photography here.
So I was just like, these guys are in control of the flight. I'm gonna ask for another vodka.
They can't like each other, right? I mean, they have to be so
They have to be
upset
There's
that
gotta
they're
be
paired together on a
She
flight.
seemed to hate everybody.
Do you know what I found out? Maybe this is common knowledge. I found out on the last flight I took, I heard a flight attendant say to the person behind me that they only get paid for the time that they're in the air. The time that they're on the plane, taxiing on the runway, on takeoff and landing, they're not paid for that. They're only on the clock technically when the plane is in the air.
I'm shocked if they're hourly employees.
I'm gonna
I
say
thought a flight attendant would have a salary. And
I
you
think
gotta
that
do so
person's
many
full
things.
of shit.
I was on
'Cause
Breeze Airlines, so
there-
maybe that makes a difference. But I was on Breeze.
They
This
all
is
have
the
other
thing.
jobs on Breeze Airlines.
I don't think there's been like class action lawsuits for restaurants where like you would you're getting paid server wage like $2.14 an hour
Uh-huh.
and you clock in at 10 and the restaurant opens at 11 and you clean and you prep and from 10 to 11 you're getting $2.14 an hour.
Right.
There's a huge class action lawsuit of you have to be making at least minimum wage at any point
Uh-huh.
that you're in doing any kind of work. So they can't. They're on the plane. They're doing work. There's no way
She
can
said
just-
it out
she's
loud.
full of shit.
to
I
a-
think she's just lying to this guy to make him feel bad.
Okay, look. I mean, the guy was in the emergency exit row. I don't know why she's trying to make that guy feel bad. He's responsible for all of our lives.
Dude, the lady comes down on a wheelchair, but she's moving around quite well, I'd say. She gets on. I'm standing up. She goes, look, she does the I don't know where I'm sitting. And I go, oh, it's right here. And she goes, it's B. And I go, oh, that's the middle. And she goes, oh no. And I go like, oh, she thinks I go, I'm the middle up here.
Mhm.
I'm like, I can't handle your problem. So then I look back, she's just in the aisle. And the guy comes up, and it's a 6-hour flight. The guy comes up instantly, like, that's my seat. She goes,
Mhm.
oh, but I'm in the, and he goes, that's my seat. Move. And she goes, but I just have a bad back. He goes, I have a bad back too. I'm not arguing with you. Move.
Wow.
I like this guy.
And then she keeps, but I've got this thing. And he goes, I'm not arguing with you. That's my seat. Move.
Okay.
But my back. And he goes, just get out of my way. And then he climbs over her aggressively
Uh-huh.
and gets into her middle seat.
Oh,
I
she
heard him-
won.
She beat him.
2 more times during that flight,
Uh-huh.
get in or out of that seat, physically bumping into her to the point where she said, ow, twice.
Oh my God.
I can't believe he gave in.
I
I would
can't-
never give in.
If
on
you
that.
come in that hot, yeah.
I mean, I'm getting the flight attendant. I'm not yelling at someone. I would
Yeah.
just like, well, I guess I'll go get the flight attendant then.
All right, stay here. I'll be
And They'll
back.
make you move.
Yeah. My
That's
bad.
crazy.
Do you think she was just singing that song, but he never gave her a chance to finish it?
Twice on my flights, I took a lot of flights on my trip. Twice I'm in the aisle seat and the guy in the middle seat, we land. There's 100 people in front of us
Mm-hmm.
getting up and getting their bags. Twice, guy starts trying to climb over me. Excuse me, from the middle seat.
Hey,
I'm like, I'm getting
I
up too.
hate-
I'm like, I'm getting up too. Which,
You know what
You
I'll
know,
do?
as
I'll
bad as it
stand
is-
up and box them
as
out.
bad as it is on U.S. flights, people do it. I hate to be certain stereotypes about Middle Eastern people, but everyone on the flight is the most rude person on an American flight.
Is
It's a
that
free
right?
for all. There's no like, you know how it's like 1 or 2 people that will rush the aisle
Uh-huh.
on U.S. flights.
Yeah.
Everyone rushes the aisle on these Middle Eastern flights.
And Kyle, clip
It's
this.
wild.
Now, I am a guy who I love the aisle because I pee a lot. I am an aisle guy, and I don't get up
Uh-huh.
because it's like why?
Yeah.
And I have people who will get mad at me that are in those 2 seats that I'm not getting up, but they also can't get up if I get up. So I
Yeah.
don't get what the
I will
fucking issue
stand
is.
up and stay
Yeah.
in my seat area. I won't even get in the aisle. I'll just
stand up in
block
your seat.
them from doing it.
Mhm. It's very
It's a
annoying.
very simple system.
Mhm.
The people in front of you go, and then you go. There's aisle, middle, window. What are we doing here?
I also hate the fucking coming from the back and wait a second.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I love how they board in the Middle East, though. They do like an hour. They start boarding like an hour early. No boarding groups. the plane just boards slowly.
Okay.
You know, it's just a trickle in,
Just
and then
get
they're
on the
like
plane.
last call, like it's a train.
Well, I love that.
It's nice.
I am into
It's
that,
very
actually.
nice,
I
yeah.
am into that. Now, Andy, here's what
There's
we're
no
doing.
cattle calls.
We're going long on this episode because we
Woo!
fucked up, didn't time it right, and we got a whole bunch of shit about you to hear about, and I want to hear about it. But first, I want the answer to my goddamn question.
Yeah.
Did you have fun on this trip?
Well, it's a complicated question.
Okay. No, I really just wanted the answer. I really just wanted to know if you did or you didn't.
I had fun at some points, and at some other points, I did not have fun.
Are you glad that you did it?
Yeah,
There
I'm
we
glad I
go.
went. I'm
Okay.
glad I went. The troops, I had no idea. I had no idea. I said this when I was over there. I'm like a guy that people say give it up for the troops, and I give it up. I don't mind.
You give
I
it
give
up.
it up for them. But for now on, I'm really giving it up for them because the sacrifice these men and women make, the way that they are living to be in these places to like legitimately make the world safer. Every base I went to, I'm like, and what do you guys do? And they're like, we do this, this, and this. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know we needed to be doing that. And they're in all these areas so that they can just be places at the drop of a hat. I didn't know. I
You
didn't
didn't
know. I got a lot more appreciation for it now.
You're just ignorant.
Just
You're
give
I was
You know what
very
we should do?
ignorant. Yeah.
Give it up for the troops.
Give it up for the troops.
So let's
you know
give
what?
it up for him. Yeah,
I gotta give it up for the troops real quick. I'm giving it up for the troops.
That's perfect.
Troops are doing it.
That's
over
the
there.
troops doing that. And you stayed with the troops at one point. Is that correct?
Yeah, multiple times. So, like half the time when we were in hotels, and the other half the time we were on the bases.
Now,
The bases.
Did you take any pictures of the inside of that room?
I think I took pictures of the inside of one of the rooms. Maybe not the worst room that I stayed in. I don't think I took a picture of. It's hard to think to take photos sometimes when you're not seeing anything that is beautiful. You know what I mean? You know, I don't really jump to be like, let me take
I had a photographer say that to me one time.
let me take a
Just-
photo of this ugliest building I've ever seen in my
Let's just
life.
document this.
Yeah.
Now, I was on record as saying that on these bases, they do have visitors. So there's probably like visitors' quarters. Was I right or wrong
Mhm.
about that? Are you staying like.
Well, yes and no. It depends. Like the more remote bases that we went to, we were in they're like basically like storage containers that have been built into.
And that's where you had to
barracks.
change rooms.
Change rooms.
Didn't you change rooms just so you could pee?
Oh well, like the bathroom is just a different building in that one, and it
Yeah.
was like 100 yards away. So I had to pee in the night because I'm drinking water constantly all day because they're like, don't get dehydrated, you'll die.
Yeah.
So I'm peeing like 3 times in the night. I'm also uncomfortable. It's a 12-hour time difference, hard to get adjusted, and you just have to walk the length of a football
What's it
field in your
like
flip flops.
When you're walking in your flip flops at night? Is it scary?
No, because you're on the base.
Is
You
it
know,
like a
it's lit
city?
up and stuff. It's not. Some of them are like cities. You know, one of them was like a college campus. This one in Bahrain. It was nice, and we stayed at like a hotel on the base in that one. But the one where you had to walk to the bathroom was just like, it was like a camp. It was like a summer camp almost. I
Were
mean,
there people doing like military shit while you walk out with your nightcap flopped over your head?
You teddy
no,
bear.
nobody was out.
on.
No, I was tempted to just piss by the building, but earlier in that day we had a tour where they showed us these drones. They showed us this drone that costs like $700 million and flies so high no one could ever catch it on radar, but could read a license plate. And
Oh
I was
my
like, I bet
God.
that drone could see me peeing out here.
I don't like knowing
I
about
better
that.
walk to the
I don't-
bathroom.
Keep that shit to yourself. I don't want to know about that, Andy. Keep some secrets are yours to have. Don't tell me
Well, I
about
don't
the
even know if
drones.
I'm supposed to spread that. We weren't allowed to take photos of the drones.
Now, did anything
But the
ever,
drone could take a photo of you?
Yeah, the drones took all kinds of photos of me.
did anything ever happen where like some shit not popped off, but they were like, hold? You know, you ever walk in and someone's just like, hey, hold up,
Oh yeah, no,
nothing?
And
no,
you-
nothing was like, no,
And
there
you-
wasn't any.
It was
no.
all Navy stuff?
No, some Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines with all different spots.
Did you learn enough that you could just be giving it to these other? I mean, did you get it? Were you able to riff on like, oh, these Navy boys? Or I mean,
well, I wasn't going like thing to thing, like one thing against the other thing, but by the end of the thing, I was doing like 10, 12 minutes of stuff from the tour,
yeah.
which you know, I think the people at the latter end got a better show for it.
What was the order?
Well, every show but one, we did this guy Kirk McHenry out of Las Vegas was our host, and then I middled and Ty Burnett closed. Except one show I closed.
And I mean, how are these
Why'd you
fun?
flop it?
The woman running the show said, "Okay, let's switch on this one," and I was like, "I am willing to switch, but I also Ty's been doing it longer than me. He's got more credits. I will happily middle every show if he wants to close." And so we switched back to that.
Oh, was he cool
After
about that?
He was cool about it, and I was like, "Listen, I understand the middle spot's the easier spot too. So if you want to flip flop, I'm happy to flip flop." But I seemed like everybody was happy with the way it
Okay.
was.
And you having good sets, hot ones?
I would say
Alex
I had
asking
all
way
good
more
sets
questions
but
about
one.
your trip.
I had
Huh?
all good sets but one.
You went to a city I lived in and kind of hated. I mean, Andy's. This is a total new novel
All
experience.
This is
good
what
sets
happened
but
with
one,
Prague
yeah.
when you weren't here. Nobody, I was bombing through a Prague story. This guy's doesn't ask any questions.
This guy came back from Prague. I go, how's the food in Prague? He goes, it's brown. I mean, that's the kind of
They got
shit
brown
he
food
just
over there?
tells me it's brown.
Like gravy?
Look at
He
this.
goes, it's brown.
Already better.
It was like
this
gravy?
guy. I wish you were here
Everything
for that.
had gravy on it?
It's kind of like
Should
gravy.
we redo the episode?
Let's
I
redo
think
it.
I
I
would
mean, I
love
haven't
to.
even heard
Yeah,
about
act like
Prague
I'm the
yet.
only motherfucker that was here. I had Tom Carson in that seat. I mean, I'm not going down alone for this.
Did you
Yeah,
run into
Tom
anyone
doesn't
you
know how to
know?
ask a follow-up question, and I want to say that to the people
Get
that
that
said
out
Tom should replace me on the Patreon.
there.
Yeah,
They
that
did.
stuff was
They
public.
came in hard. They came in hard.
Did you run into anyone you or I know?
You know that I did.
Oh,
know that I did.
Ooh, Alex doesn't.
One of Tommy's high school friends was at the base in Bahrain.
A sweetheart?
Yes, a sweetheart of
Oh,
Tommy's.
Wow.
I think it was that fella that you kissed for your first kiss.
Is that right?
This
Said,
guy,
I
basically
was
just
gonna ask him
keeping
about it, but don't ask, don't tell.
keeping tabs. Just just on the social media. He came to a show once years ago, maybe a show that Andy was on. I didn't get the clarity on that, but I just follow him on Instagram, and this guy, it's he's been in 20 some years. He's got all kinds of bars on his chest.
This guy,
I was telling Andy, I was like, this guy may be a
commander.
boss over there.
He is a boss. He is a boss. Here's the cool thing: when you're over there, you meet the commanders and stuff at the bases. The first one we went to, they call them triad. There's 3 of them on the base, and they go, "We're going to meet the triad." And I go, "The Japanese mafia runs this military base." Got a good laugh, then did it as a bit the rest of the week.
Pretty strong.
But a cool thing that they do is they have these little things called challenge coins. I think they're called these like cool coins. Everyone's different. And then there's like a drinking game that I don't totally understand that happens with these coins, but the way they give them to you is like you're not supposed to be getting them. Like it's a secret. They give it to you in a handshake. And your buddy handshook me one of these like challenge coins.
Did you bring it?
That only the commanders have. I'll bring it to show to you. I got a whole bunch of them, but I did bring a t-shirt he gave me to give to you.
Hey,
He
Wow.
passed a t-shirt on. And I didn't have the heart to tell him this, but Tommy's going to be upset that you didn't give him medium. But the sizes are all a little smaller from the shirts that I have in general.
Let's take a
So
peek
that's
at
from
this
your
shirt.
buddy
What do we
in
got there?
Bahrain,
Let me see this.
is this
But
stolen
I think
valor?
it's
Why I
a
wear
workout
this?
shirt. I
Wow.
think you wear it. I mean, I think it's been
Put it
given
on.
to
What
you.
material is this?
It's been
Workout
gifted to you
material?
by one
workout
of the
material.
commanders.
Yeah.
of it.
Is he's
dude.
one of the triads?
Yeah, well, he wasn't one of the triads, but he was in charge of his part over there. Yeah, I mean, we're giving out shirts. Alex, you asked for it.
I did ask
You
for
asked for it. Here is your shirt from Djibouti.
Djibouti, baby.
Djibouti.
Let me
And I
see.
got you a medium instead of a small, just
Oh,
because
you're
I
a
felt
good
like all
guy.
their clothes were small.
Hold
over
on,
there.
let me unfurl this.
Yeah, take
so you
a
bought
look
his?
at it. Yeah, I got yours for free.
Huh.
I
Let me
bought
see
his,
it.
yeah.
Let me see.
That's so funny.
What does it
It's a
say?
funny shirt. Come on. Make Djibouti stronger. Jim. Is
Okay.
that right?
Make Djibouti stronger.
Make
That's
Djib-
what it says.
Oh,
Make
nice.
Djibouti.
Make Djibouti stronger.
Now, this is great. Now, I just joined a Lifetime Planet Fitness.
Is that right?
I've gone 2 times so
yeah,
far.
you'll be wearing that. in
I'm
there.
wearing this to the
Yeah,
gym,
don't
baby.
pass out.
People are gonna like it.
Hey, man, I'm tearing up this gym. You don't know. You don't know. I've learned a lot since then. Well, now I dated a girl in high school, Andy, who went on to become a Philadelphia Eagles cheerleader.
Okay.
And she went over and entertained the troops as a cheerleader, and then
Yep.
after that, she herself became a troop.
Wow.
Now, do you see a similar path for yourself? Do you think you might
That's
become
so
a troop?
much better than any question he asked me about Prague.
Well, if that girl would have went to Prague, I,
I mean,
an
Jesus, what a question.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I looked at, what their day-to-day life is like, and also just the remote places that they're living in. And these people are all amazing. And I kept thinking about it in terms of like, would I have been able to do this at 18? At 18,
Right.
would I have, been physically fit enough and like go with the flow enough and chill enough to be able to live in a room with 3 other guys and get up early and do all this stuff? Maybe. But at 44, there's no fucking way.
Did you
Yeah,
do
I could've
any?
done
Did they
this.
do you any like, hey, here's a drill we do. You want to try it, or do you want to shoot this gun, or do you do
We
any
did
fun?
shoot some guns. Yeah, we shot some guns, sort of. They're these guns that are set up for training. And then there's a big screen and you kind of shoot the screen like a video game. But you have like the real guns, and the guns are set up to feel like what a gun feels like when you're firing it.
Wow.
How'd you
That was
do?
pretty cool. I did well. They were impressed because the other 2 guys had both been in the military. The other 2 comics,
Oh shit!
and we, it was a little friendly competition. And on one machine gun, I was the best. And it
Machine
was
Gun
like,
Andy.
hey, what's
Wow.
up? What's up with college boy over here beating these military fellas? That's what they were saying.
Well, congratulations,
fun.
my man.
Were they allowed
We
to
saw-
drink at these shows?
Some yes, some no. Some of these countries we were in were dry countries.
Whoa!
And then they have some of them is like you can drink. Well, I think everyone, you can't just drink as much as you want. They have things set up where it's like you can have 2 drinks a day, and then you have a card that you have to take to the bar, and they put a mark on your card to make sure you don't have more than 2 drinks a day. And on Thanksgiving, they let people have 4 drinks.
Hey!
Yeah.
Now, are these, imagine this in my head. I feel like it could go 2 ways. Is one, these crowds rowdy, they're hooping and hollering. They're soldiers cutting loose. The other side of it is that, they're well behaved. They're falling in line. They're men of regiment.
Well, I think in the one where they were allowed to drink maybe a little bit more, which was in Bahrain, which was the show your friend saw, that was the drunkest crowd, and they were rowdy. And there were some young guys up front where, were it a comedy club, I would have handled them much differently than they're living this life abroad,
Right.
For this reason to be in the military and serve and whatever. I'm not going to be like, hey, you pieces of shit, get out of here.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but they would not shut up. And it ended up being fun. And, I talked to them afterwards and they enjoyed
They're good
themselves. But
guys. Yeah.
any place stateside, somebody would have pulled that shit.
Mhm. You're gone, bruh.
Yeah,
You're gone. Now, what about chow? Did you get diarrhea? What are we talking about, my man?
I did on my flight home. I sent you guys a photo. In Ethiopia, I had Ethiopian food, which the other comics I was with are like, "You're out of your mind, man. We got such a long flight.
Well, not in Ethiopia.
You're rolling the dice on this
At the Ethiopian airport.
At
which
the
is an
Ethiopian
important
airport, yeah.
distinction. Yeah.
Yeah, at the
It's like
Ethiopian airport, I had
their,
Ethiopian food. I had a Doro Wat.
Chili's. Does he think it's like their
Is
Chili's?
that, yeah. It did look good.
It was good. The waitress was like, "Are you sure?" Even the waitress was like, "Are you sure you had this before?" And I was like, "Oh, I've had it in America.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it's like here." And she's like, "It's spicy." It was fine.
Oh, you're a spice guy. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was fine. I like spicy.
Everyone saw that one chip challenge.
And
But did
yeah,
it give
and
you
there was,
diarrhea on
there
the
was
plane?
also the manager came over and was like, "Did you like it?" I
Uh-huh.
was like, "Yeah, I like it." No, I didn't get diarrhea. And then the next layover after I had eaten that, like for breakfast, sort of. Who even knows what time of day it was? When you come back from over there, I don't know. What's the time difference from here to Prague?
9 hours?
No, yeah. So it's probably soon. But this was 12, and we had 2 long layovers. So somehow it took about 30 hours to get home, but it was night 3 times.
That's weird.
It was bizarre.
disorienting,
So all day,
just
I
to
have
even
no
hear.
idea what time it is, what meal I should be eating. So my second meal of the day, after I had Ethiopian food, for my first meal of the day, my second meal of the day, I had sushi. And
Okay.
people are like, you're trying to get sick. on the
I'll be
plane."
honest with you, Andy. I'm
You're
a guy
trying
who
to
plays it
get sick
fast
on
and loose with sushi. I would never fuck with sushi at an airport. I mean,
No
that
way,
is
dude.
wild behavior.
I had Whole Food sushi the other day and thought of you.
Whole Foods sushi is great. I love Whole Foods
They're
sushi.
pretty good.
Like airport sushi, I believe that's how Osmosis Jones started. You remember Osmosis Jones?
No.
It's that movie
I'd like
Bill
to
Murray.
rewatch Osmosis Jones.
I think Bill Murray's in it. It's half animated. I actually think he eats like a bad ham sandwich from a vending machine, and then he gets like bacteria, and you go inside his body, and then there's this character Osmosis Jones. No one knows what
No
I'm talking about.
recollection.
Osmosis
No, I
Jones?
remember it. Yeah, he's blue.
Yeah, he's blue. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Now you got me a very cool T-shirt. You got Tommy, yeah, and then
Mine was a gift.
I think it's very cool.
Mine's a gift.
What did you get? Your betrothed, your beautiful wife.
Well, I got her one little thing, but it was. Listen, here, you guys want to hear my rose and my thorn?
Oh, I'd love to.
My rose is easily the talking to the troops after the shows, because they would come up and we would take photos and sign autographs and stuff. And there was a few people that were even like, "Hey, I'm a fan of yours. I like this thing you did. I like that thing you did."
met some fans
And
over there?
Yeah, there was a few fans over there.
Hey,
Some
And I felt-
backyardigans.
Yeah, some backyard hangers.
backyardigans.
And that felt very good, and also was cool. And I felt like, oh, I'm, maybe brighten their time over here, which
Yeah.
I can see could be bleak at some moments. And that's my rose. My thorn is, it was such a rush to not 9 shows, 6 different countries, only 15 days. Like, so much of it is travel. We barely had any time for anything other than the tours on the bases
Mhm.
and the shows, because we did like long tours during the day.
Were
to
those
see stuff.
enjoyable, or were those like?
Yeah, parts of them were enjoyable. There was a lot of downtime too. I think they gave us lots of rest time, which was nice, but we're just sitting for a long time, waiting for a show or waiting for the next people we're gonna meet. My favorite people we met, 2 different bases. We met with the canine units.
You got
The first one we met was
Mm.
great, and
It's code for dogs.
Is that
It's
right?
military code for dogs.
I did a bunch of jokes about it, but the first one they're like, "You're not allowed to pet the dogs," That's how I'm doing jokes. Like, it felt like I was at a strip club, look but don't touch, that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then also the first one, they're like, "Do you want to put the bite suit on and let one of these dogs bite you?"
Is that what
Yeah.
that was? The picture you sent where you're in that
No,
big
I
fucking
sent
thing?
you guys a photo of me. We also had a tour with the like explosive guys, the guys that they call to, "Hey, we got a bomb here. You need
Mhm.
to defuse it."
No,
Those
Bomb
guys.
Squad.
Yeah, they let me put on the suit that they wear when they're defusing a bomb. That's the picture.
The bomb
I showed you
suit?
guys. The bomb suit.
Was
yeah.
that after your set?
They told me to wear it during
That's
the
pretty
set.
good. Hold on. I mean, if if we're gonna have buttons over here, I mean, why am I? That's what they're for.
I guess I forgot to send it to you guys, but it all started with they let me put on a suicide vest.
Oh my god!
They were showing us the different bombs that they practiced defusing.
What?
And they had
Uh-huh.
a suicide vest, and they're like, "You want to get a photo of this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, this would be funny to send home."
Was it
Uh-huh.
used?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was used. And then they let us put on the bomb suit just to see what it feels. It's 75 pounds.
Do you feel it?
Jesus.
Yeah, you definitely.
Where do you feel it the most? Shoulders?
Head. Like, I got
Yeah.
a big
Knees?
head. It was hard to
Torso.
fit my head in the helmet. I don't even know if I could have that job unless they make bigger helmets.
No, they've got one of those at the Planet Fitness I go to. It's not that bad.
So we're at the dog place and they're doing the demonstration, just first with a soldier is doing the demonstration before they offer it to us. And the dog that's about to bite this guy is hard. He's just
Oh.
like waiting to bite him.
You did
And
send
the
us a picture
dog
of that.
is fully hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love it. Those dogs love biting people.
I was like, the dog really likes it, huh?
Did he finish? I mean, did he get? I mean,
Ah.
did he go all the way?
That one was
I
gross.
didn't let him bite me, but the bit that I was doing all week was like, I was cool with the dog biting me, but I was worried what he might do to me if he got me on the ground. Was the joke that I was
Pretty
doing
good.
during the shows. Yeah, I didn't have a dog bite me. One of the other, Kirk, the guy that hosted all the shows, he did have a dog bite him.
You didn't want to let the dog bite you?
I didn't want to let the dog bite me. I wanted, I have a nice relationship
You
with
like dogs? Yeah, you got a good thing
I
going.
didn't care to fight one.
Yeah.
You think you would have won?
No, these dogs were like not German Shepherds. There's some other Samoyed or something. That doesn't sound right. But there's some other
Belgian
they're-
Malinois.
Yeah, that's what they are. Belgian Memoir.
Damn.
Yeah, you know,
Nice pull.
been going to the gym.
A lot of Belgians at the gym. Oh, here's a funny story. We get over there. Here's two funny stories. First day there, Abu Dhabi. Incredibly long flight to get over there. I'm so relieved to be there. I do a number 2 in the toilet. This is like my first. I've just arrived. Number 2 in the toilet. Doesn't flush.
Oh no.
Doesn't flush. First thing I have to do in Abu Dhabi is call the front desk of the hotel and be like, "Hey, did an American poop up here? Your toilets can't handle
Pipes
what
are too
I brought
small.
in from the States." So embarrassing. And then,
I'll eat local food from moving forward, so they'll be regular.
and then the next thing that happened, we go to a restaurant just in the hotel, and I'm excited to try Abu Dhabi food.
Mhm.
And so I say to the waitress, it's my first time here. I'd love to have like whatever the like local cuisine is, like whatever the best local dish that you have. I'd like to have that. And the waitress says, this is a Belgian restaurant, so we have Belgian food at this restaurant.
Waffle me up, please.
Did you think about just sleeping with the shit in the toilet for the night and letting them deal with it when you were gone?
Well, yeah, I did do that sort of. I did it. It didn't go down, and I was exhausted from traveling. So I just closed the door of the bathroom and was like, hopefully it like loosens up from being in the water after a while. I'm just gonna go to sleep now. And then I called them when I headed down to meet the others for dinner, because I also didn't want to look the person in the face
Yeah.
that came to fix
Did
the
you think
toilet.
about going down there like mad and act like it was there when you checked in? I don't know what kind of place you're running here.
But where I come from, have you guys seen that viral TikTok, maybe Instagram reel of it's just a voicemail of a girl calling her friend, and she's speaking in very hushed tones, and she goes, and she's like on the verge of tears. She's like, "I need you to come pick me up. I'm over at my date's house, and I went to the bathroom and I clogged the toilet, and he has a litter box in the bathroom, so I took the poop
Oh,
out
I've
of the
seen that,
toilet
yeah.
and I put it in the litter box, and then he came out and he said, 'Did you put poop in the litter box?' And I go, 'No, I think it was your cat.' And he didn't believe me because his cat died 2 weeks ago." It really gets me.
You know the Clooney prank?
No.
Clooney, a known actor that makes the story somewhat more interesting, asked Clooney to house sit and watch his cat, or something to. Oh no, never mind. He's not house sitting. So this one is he goes over to this buddy's house every day and hangs out,
Mhm.
and he starts taking the cat shit out of the litter box and hiding it, throwing it away.
Uh-huh.
So this guy, like after a couple days, he's like, "Hey, you know, Mittens is I think she's sick. She's not going to the bathroom."
Uh-huh.
And then so he changes her diet. George Clooney keeps hiding the shit.
Uh-huh.
He changes her diet, takes her to the vet, gets some kind of constipation medicine, keeps going, takes it to the point where the cat's now on some kind of diuretic medicine,
Uh-huh.
and George Clooney goes into the litter box and takes a shit in the litter box.
Uh-huh.
And then the guy comes in and he's like, "Mittens, what the fuck?"
Pretty good bit, George. Pretty good bit. Well, Andy, I think I only have one final question
Yeah,
for you.
let's hear it.
And that is that part of the anxiety of this trip was that you were going to be gone on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What did you do on Thanksgiving? Where were you?
We had a show. We were in Djibouti. For dinner, I had Pizza Hut.
Okay.
And let me show you a photo of the Thanksgiving meal I had for lunch. It was at a buffet on the base. Oh boy, my phone updated. There's a new way the photos. I don't understand it. Have you guys looked at this? It's
Yeah,
not
it
the
is.
same.
No, it is
It's
different.
not
It's not the
good.
same. I don't know how to do. I don't know how to find anything. What is happening here? Oh boy.
We're
yeah.
watching an old
I'm
guy.
never
and he
gonna
was
find
already
it.
the oldest guy.
This
and now-
photo's gone. Yeah. Doesn't that look like the best Thanksgiving dinner you
Oh,
ever had?
it flipped.
turned, yeah.
That's my Thanksgiving, right? It's just on like a cafeteria tray.
Well, that
Are
With
those
the little
nuggets?
sections.
Or is that sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes.
it does look like it's like a frozen dinner vibe.
Yeah.
Everything's
Is that
in
a
its own
mashed
little spot.
potato?
I think I got some mashed potatoes.
Dark
If
meat.
it was there, yeah.
All right,
It's,
well,
it's actually duck. There's there's some turkey and there's duck leg.
all right. Well, I was wrong. I thought for sure you would eat with all of the soldiers, and it would be a beautiful moving experience.
Well, I did eat with all the soldiers, but it wasn't like a meal where all the soldiers got around the table and
Yeah,
said what they were thankful for. It was just a free for all
you didn't.
buffet.
You didn't try and organize a big roses and thorns.
Last question. Alex was wondering, were there any hot soldiers?
Oh,
I'll tell you, like base to base, some of the bases had I don't know if this is a stereotype or not, but much hotter women at the Air Force bases.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was a few hotties out there.
Okay.
A few hotties for sure.
All right, Tom Cruise, he's good looking. Well, he's in the
Mhm.
Navy. I take it all back.
Few hotties.
Well,
That was great.
that's great. I'm glad that you went. You know, glad you went. Glad you're
Mhm.
back. But you know,
I got one more story. This is not from overseas. This is from my trip to Big Bear.
oh, I forgot about
Before
Big
we
Bear.
went.
Mhm.
Before we left, my sweetie and I, we went to Big Bear, California for a couple nights, and we wanted to go hiking. And you're in Big Bear, you got to get this thing called an adventure pass to go in the parks.
Yep.
Everybody wear it, and so you just get it at a gas station though. So we go into 7-Eleven, and I don't want to say adventure pass. I feel like it's dumb or a childish name to be like, can I have my adventure pass, please? So I say to the guy, I'm like, we're going to the park. I need one of the things. And he goes, adventure pass? And I go, yeah, it's a silly name. I didn't want to say it. And then he sells it to me. And as we're about to leave, he goes, hey, have fun on your adventure.
That guy's
That's a laugh of the
good
week.
guy. That's a good guy. Good for that.
Is that
guy.
your laugh of the week?
That's
a good
my laugh of the week.
That's a
for
good
sure.
laugh of the
Yeah.
week.
Oh, I had a laugh of the week in New York. We're in the city. It's the first time like walking down the streets of New York
Mhm.
City, and I'm pointing at the tall buildings, and also like it's a billion people. It's
Mhm.
Christmas, so I'm kind of like, where's the kids? Everett is 10 feet in front of us, walking with her arms out real big like this, and just kind of a little comedy big walk. And then she just turns around and she goes, I'm walking here.
That's pretty great.
She assimilated fast.
It was just out of nowhere. Really got me.
I'll pull one real quick. Is that Moore and I went to the LA Auto Show downtown at the LA Convention
Okay.
Center.
Wish I was invited to that.
And it was real fun. When you get in, all the cars are in the big showrooms. But when we first get in, you go up the stairs. There was these two campers that were like really cool. They kind of look like Rivians, but if Rivian made campers, they were solar powered. They opened up and did all this crazy shit. So we get in line to go inside of one. And as like only a couple people could go in at a time. And so the line was slow moving. And as we're walking up next to this thing, Maura is unhooking everything and like testing out all the locks like a little kid was just like, what's this do? What's this do? And then we're next to go in, and there is this piece of metal that looks like it's been 3D printed almost, where it's got the logo of the company in it. And she unhooks it, and it comes like loudly crashing down. She's like, ta-tang, ta-tang, ta-tang. And she's like, what is this? She's like, look at how flimsy this is. What is this even for? And she tries to get it back up and she can't. And then this guy comes over. He's like, I got it. And then we get in there and she goes, that table, what was that? And he goes, it's not meant to be down. It's not meant to be down when the car's moving. Don't worry about it. And it's clear this thing is a prototype. It's like a prototype we're looking at. And so we're in there for a second, and she very quickly goes, guys, she goes, I can't afford this. And he goes, that's fine. And he goes, I just want to introduce myself. I'm the owner of the company. She's just loudly.
You can't afford. I can tell by the way you're touching everything. You can't afford.
Yeah. It was very close to a you break it, you buy it situation, but it was very funny timing. And she wanted me to include, if I told her on the story, that the guy also weirdly, she goes, "What is this even for?" And he goes, "It's for if you're camping and you want to put dirt on it." And she was like, "What?" Doesn't make any sense. A dirt table,
Huh,
dude.
Yeah, dirt. Get some dirt up there.
This is a no bad ideas car company.
Wayne, are you going to be anywhere coming up now that you're back?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be in Eugene, Oregon in 2 weeks. Also in Lincoln City, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Appleton, Wisconsin, Sunnyvale, California, first week of next year. Lots of dates on andywoodhall.com.
Make sure you go to the hot springs.
Hot springs.
Bye.